For Ravi and his teenage gang, life is full of fun and adventure. But their days at home are numbered. Young males aren't allowed to stay with their troop forever. Forced out, Ravi must embark on the journey of a lifetime. He'll make new friends, experience life in the big city, and encounter monsters. But what will it take for him to find a new place to call home? This ancient temple is one of the most sacred sites in Sri Lanka, and it's home to a large troop of toque macaque monkeys who enjoy a comfortable lifestyle. But for the teenage males of the troop, their home is more than just a place to lounge around. These daredevils are out to have fun, no matter what the risk. And the reward for all this bravado? Breakfast with a view. 100 feet below, the rest of their troop is having a far more relaxed start to their day. This is the King Troop, a group of over 40 toque macaques that have lived among the ancient ruins for hundreds of years. Their current king is Coram. At 2 feet tall, he's a large adult male, but only by toque macaque standards. They're the smallest macaque species in the world. But what they lack in size, they make up for with their unique personalities and fetching hairstyles. No two monkeys look the same. There's battle-scarred Grandad, age 35, soaking up retirement. 10 mothers with babies in tow. A handful of large adult males. And of course, the rowdy bunch of teenagers. Ravi is the eldest teenage male in the troop. He's 6 years old, sports one of the best hairstyles around, and enjoys a carefree life with the other adolescents. And his closest friend is Danu. Danu's only about a month younger than Ravi, and they've been best friends since they were babies. They've both made it through the vulnerable infant years, when up to a third of toque macaques die. And they've spent their whole lives living in this idyllic temple paradise. But now that they're almost adults, their days here are numbered. Whilst the females get to stay with their birth troop for life, males have to leave. Nature's way of preventing inbreeding. Ravi and Danu are feeling the push to leave home, especially around meal times. There's a strict dominance hierarchy within the group, and the teenage males are at the very bottom. They have to wait for everyone else to get their fill. Even Ravi's own mother, Jemusa, won't share with him. Jemusa is the alpha female of the troop, and she rules over the other females with an iron fist. Her torn ear is a legacy of a fight that she won while defending her crown. As the son of the queen, Ravi used to enjoy a privileged childhood. But now that he's nearly an adult male, those days of favoured status are long gone. And Mum's got a new baby to look after. Ravi's little brother is just 8 weeks old, and right now, she's keeping him close. But as he gets older, he'll gradually become more independent and join in with the other youngsters. Play is a crucial part of a young toque macaque's development. It's how they improve coordination, test their boundaries, and hone their social skills. But Ravi is perhaps a little old to be hanging out with the kids. He runs rings around this unfortunate youngster. Toque macaques have an unusually long tail. It's great for balance, but not so useful in someone else's hands. The way the juveniles interact with each other changes with age. For the younger kids, it's mostly just rough and tumble. But for Ravi and Danu, as the oldest teenage males, play is getting more serious. This is fight school. And it's one of the final skills they need to master before they leave home. After a day of temple adventure, Ravi and Danu regroup with the rest of the king troop. It's bedtime, and it's best not to sleep alone. With darkness comes danger. Creatures of the night emerge to take over the forest. A leopard could make an easy meal of a solitary macaque. Together, high in the trees, is the best place to be. Mornings are a busy time for Ravi's family. Filling their hungry tummies is the #1 priority. They're a resourceful group and search their territory for whatever they can lay their hands on. Fruit is their preferred food. But today, grass is on the menu. These fresh shoots are too good to ignore and can be an excellent fibre boost. But the king troop aren't the only ones grazing this morning. An Indian star tortoise joins the party. Unlike the macaques, grass is one of its favorite foods. And the tortoise is not about to let a bunch of monkeys put it off. But some of the brat pack have never seen a walking rock before. At this age, they're fascinated by anything new. The youngest ones proceed with caution. But one of Ravi's older friends wants to play. While the tortoise isn't so keen on him, he's determined to bring it out of its shell. Maybe a kiss will win it over. But the tortoise really isn't interested. This species lives a solitary lifestyle and doesn't need any friends. Perhaps it's best to just let this ancient relic continue on its way. The king troop's territory covers just over half a square mile. It's a large area for these pint-sized primates, but they need every bit of it. There are a lot of mouths to feed, and food will soon become scarce around here. It's June, the middle of the dry season. The forest is starting to dry out, and the last of the fruits are ripening. The temperature is on the rise, and during the hottest part of the day, it often hits 95 degrees. Ravi's family tries to keep cool. Jemusa, his mother, takes her usual afternoon siesta with the other high-ranking females. These are her closest relatives, and one of her daughters will one day inherit her crown. Their bond lasts a lifetime. But for the males, it's a very different story. Jemusa's young son will only enjoy the benefits of being high-born for around the first 2 years of his life. Then he'll be totally independent from Mum, and will eventually follow in his older brother's footsteps. Ravi is now on the cusp of adulthood, and his drive to mate is getting stronger. But he'll have to find a new troop to have any hope of passing on his genes. Leaving home is a daunting prospect. This is where Ravi grew up, and there are huge advantages to staying in familiar territory. Like knowing where to grab a drink when he gets thirsty. This large waterhole is one of the king troop's most important resources. Even during the dry season, they can usually quench their thirst here and grab a quick snack. Grubs and insects are a tasty addition to their usual fruit-filled diet. This oasis is also a favorite for many of the other forest residents. and the macaques are happy to share with these harmless neighbours. Few stick around for long. A quick drink and it's back into the forest. The king troop is also homeward bound, except for a few stragglers. Ravi and his gang are starting to spend more time away from the main troop. Swimming is great fun and the ideal way to cool off. The waterhole quickly becomes the venue for a teenage pool party. With all this fun going on, no one notices a dangerous gatecrasher. A female golden jackal. This wildlife hub is the perfect stalking ground. And mongoose is one of her favorite prey. She needs to get closer. An untimely splash startles the mongoose. But the jackal's hunt isn't over yet. She can take down much bigger prey. Small deer are often on the menu. And an unwary teenage macaque could also be an easy meal. Without the eyes of the whole troop around, Ravi and his pals are more vulnerable than usual. And Danu, Ravi's best friend, is on his own. He unknowingly becomes the target of a killer. Padded paws help to mask her footsteps. But toque macaques have excellent hearing. The rustle of leaves catches the teenager's attention. They spot her just in time. It's a lucky escape for Danu. Over the next month, the drought intensifies. There's no fresh fruit or fresh grass anymore, and in these desperate times, the troop has to grab whatever's on offer. There's not really enough to go around. And the first to go hungry are those that shouldn't be here anymore. Ravi and the other teenagers have been pushed to the very edge of the troop, where there's little food to be found. And even when one of Ravi's friends does make a lucky find, he's not allowed to keep it for long. Korum, the alpha male, is making sure his henchmen and the females get first choice of all the food. It's a strong message that the teenagers are no longer welcome here. It's crucial at this stage that they stick together. A lone monkey has very little hope of survival. So when they do leave home, they're better off in a group. Korum's only a king because his friends helped him take over this troop. and he keeps his allies close. But life at the top isn't all smooth sailing. As the alpha male, he has to keep everyone in line. There's a steady stream of newcomer males from the outside. Coram needs to judge how to deal with each of them. Most are young and harmless, hoping to just join his troop. But others are troublemakers and want to fight. This large male has arrived with an aggressive attitude. And he's attacking members of Coram's troop. Coram must step in and restore peace before things get out of hand. The outsider rises to the challenge. But Coram holds his ground. And it's enough to send this aggressive troublemaker on his way. But Coram's intervention is a little late for two members of his troop. This low-ranked female was in the firing line. And so was Ravi. His right hand has been badly bitten. He was an innocent target of the outsider's aggression. The large wound is making it difficult to walk. The rest of his friends are in their typical boisterous mood. But Ravi's too sore to join in. There's more at stake than just missing out on fun and games. An injury like this can ruin a young monkey's life. He might never regain full use of his hand. And no one wants to be friends with a monkey who can't keep up. Two weeks pass, and the drought drags on. It's now early August, and this is one of the worst dry spells the area has seen for years. It's baking hot, and the mercury hits 100 degrees. There's hardly been any rain for months, and the King Troop's oasis is now just a dusty dirt bowl. The troop has to use all its knowledge about the forest just to survive. These tree hollows hide precious stores of rainwater that only the macaques can reach. Coram uses his long arm and hand to scoop up the water and enjoy a much-needed drink. This is life-saving knowledge that the troop passes down through the generations. But not everyone is paying attention. The teenagers have already learned this trick, and instead are up to their usual rowdy games. These ancient walls and pillars are the remnants of old monks' cells. But this is no longer a place of peace and meditation. The teenagers are using it as a wrestling ring. And this time, Ravi joins in. He's back on his feet and keen to rumble. A game of tussle with Danu, his best friend, reaffirms their close bond. Ravi's back in the gang. His hand is still healing, but keeping the wound clean has stopped any infection. He's been very lucky not to sustain a lifelong injury. But now it's crunch time. While Ravi's been recovering, the teenage gang has been spending more time away from the rest of the troop. And they're ready to take the next step and head further afield. Ravi's hand has recovered just in time. It's finally time for the teenage males of the King Troop to leave home. The teenagers are on a mission to find a new troop to join, with the ultimate aim of earning a high rank and maybe even becoming a king. They travel for over half a mile, the furthest they've ever ventured before. It's a long way for little legs, and a cool drink is just what they need. But there's something not right about this place. The drought and baking hot sun has almost totally dried this pool out. Left behind are hundreds of dying fish. With so little water, they're starved of oxygen and left to drown. And monsters have moved in. The teenagers have never seen anything like this before. The Asian water monitor is the second largest lizard in the world. It's a finely tuned killing machine. These 3 lizards are over 6 feet long and weigh around 30 pounds. They're the stuff of teenage nightmares. The monitors will eat just about any animal they can get their jaws on. The teenagers want to drink, but they get the sense that getting too close could end in disaster. Ravi and his friends have no choice but to go thirsty and move on. From here, they could easily return home. But the urge to find a new troop and have a chance of breeding drives them on. The teenagers travel for another week, exploring the land a few miles beyond their temple home. Leaving their birth troop, is one of the most perilous times in a young male macaque's life. Without the rest of the troop, they're far more vulnerable to predation. And out here, they're not sure where to find food and water. But they need to keep going. This morning, things are looking up. The teenagers have stumbled across a very different pile of bricks than the temple they're used to. But it does have some familiar-looking residents. This is the roof troop, a large group of toque macaques that have combined forest life with urban living. Ravi watches from a distance. Their youngsters have swapped trees for metal scaffolding and have their own version of boisterous play. It looks like it could be a fun group to join. But they watch from the sidelines. They can't just rush in and introduce themselves. Ravi's going to have to play it cool and use all his charm to win them over. It won't be easy. The adult males won't welcome these newcomers. They could be future rivals. The females aren't looking too friendly either. New males can be a threat to their babies. But an outsider can also be a good thing. Ravi or Danu could rise to be king here. And new strong genes would benefit these females' future offspring. It's a complex social situation, and one that Ravi's not very experienced at. For now, the teenager's plan is to tag along for breakfast, at a distance. One of the advantages of joining a troop is learning where they find their food and water. But the roof troop lives life on the edge, and they have the battle scars to prove it. These more urban monkeys are not content with just the usual fruits of the forest. They cross into the human world. Just a quarter of a mile from their home, the roof troop has worked out how to make the most of opportunity at the local market. It's early morning, and the market's not yet open for business. But the roof troop knows there are still plenty of things on offer. Fridges contain sweet delights. It's just a matter of getting one open. Ravi's got no idea how to be a shoplifter. Instead, he's found the most comfortable seat in the house. The ideal place to watch and learn. Getting these fridges open will require brains as well as brawn. And not everyone's up for the challenge. Some of the roof troop youngsters join Ravi. Playing and bonding with these kids is a great way for Ravi to win over the troop. And if someone can get a fridge open, there'll be drinks all round. With new friends showing him the ropes, Ravi's really got the hang of roof troop life. But the break-in isn't going so well. Even the most determined monkey can't quite work it out. And while some of the youngsters yearn after what could have been, the rest of the roof troop heads off in search of another way to quench their thirst. Barrels of water left out for livestock are a lucky find. Their version of a forest oasis. Just like the king troop, water is the most important resource for the roof troop. During the dry season, they can't get enough moisture from their food. The youngest members of the troop are especially vulnerable to dehydration. An easy water supply like this can be the difference between life and death. Ravi watches on from the sidelines. He doesn't dare go near the barrels until the high-ranked members of the troop have had their fill. Finally, he takes his chance. And no one tells him off. Life's going well for Ravi. He's got full use of his hand again, and in just a day, he's adapted to this new troop's lifestyle. The rest of the travelling teenagers follow his lead. But after the last waterhole experience, where monsters lurked, they're playing it very safe. Danu, Ravi's best friend, is not getting his face anywhere near the surface. Instead, he uses his hand as a cup, a trick he remembers from back home. But the roof troop monkeys aren't afraid to get their heads wet. They love to swim. Even if it's just a bath-sized pool, they'll make the most of it. It's a way to cool off, wash the dust from their fur, and have fun. The roof troop kids soon turned this into a rowdy bath time session. At last, Ravi and the other teenagers join in. They're all starting to bond. Ravi's even up to his old tricks. In the space of just a few hours, Ravi and his gang have started to make friends. And this troop is beginning to feel like home. But the roof troop is on the move again. Hungry tummies drive them deeper into the human world. The roof troop monkeys are street smart and traffic savvy. But Ravi and his friends aren't so sure. The roof troop crosses the road with ease, leaving the newcomers sitting on the fence. These city slickers seem to know exactly how to dodge and weave. Toque macaques are thought to be some of the smartest animals in the world. And these individuals have worked out that timing is everything. Nearly everyone else is safely across and moving on. If Ravi and his crew don't cross soon, they'll lose them. But these fast-moving, noisy machines are more confusing and intimidating than anything Ravi's ever encountered. Without the guidance of the road-savvy troop, he can't quite work it out. The last of the roof troop disappears into the woods. Ravi and his friends have been left behind. Without their new troop leading the way, they have no choice but to head back the way they came. Here in the jungle is where Ravi and his crew are most at home. They know how to survive around here. The forest is their version of a fridge. And Ravi's found a familiar food source. These hanging pods are the fruit of the golden rain tree. The bright yellow flowers and long pods are hard to miss. But at around 2 feet long, they're not the easiest things to handle. Breaking open the tough exterior is hard work. Inside are hundreds of seeds. But these aren't very tasty. It's what lives amongst the seeds that Ravi's after. Grubs are a juicy, protein-packed meal. Just what these road-weary travellers need. It's been a week and a half since Ravi and the other teenagers left home on their journey to find a new troop. They've backtracked close to the temple, but there's no point returning home. There's no future for them there. They must continue their search. Over the next 2 weeks, Ravi and his friends explored deeper into the forest, journeying a further 2 miles. Then, one misty morning, they awakened to the sounds of other monkeys. Ravi climbs to a lookout point to investigate. In the distance, he spots a couple of large adult males, surveying their territory. They could be part of a bigger group, so Ravi moves closer to check them out. He's in luck. Below him, a small troop of macaques is foraging. Ravi is captivated. Unlike the roof troop, this group has a familiar feel about it. They're foraging and playing, just like his troop back home. And these females look a little more accepting than the last ones. This could be the new home Ravi and his friends have been searching for. The only way to find out is to get closer and see if they can join them for breakfast. Ravi approaches with caution. No one in the troop seems that bothered. This is the best welcome he can hope for. For the next few months, Ravi and his friends will gradually charm their way into this troop. Hopefully, it's just a matter of time until they get to call this place home.
Hey Love Nature fans, be sure to like and subscribe to catch all our wild animal stories. Get closer to nature right here on YouTube.